Welcome to another inspiring episode of the No Limits Life podcast. I'm your host, Nordine, joined by my co-host, Ken. Today's guest has lived a life of service, leadership, and impact, from coaching champions on the football field to raising millions for science, education, and community causes. His journey is a masterclass in embracing change, breaking barriers, and creating lasting legacies. True legacy is not just built in the trophies we win, but in the lives we elevate and the communities we strengthen. Our guest today is the president of Find Your Path Speaking and Consulting, a former assistant dean for external and corporate relations at the University of Arizona, and a coach whose influence extends from the gridiron. I'm French, so I have a hard time with this word. Gridiron.
There you go.
I saw the movie Gridiron with a rock.
You can just say football. You actually was perfect when you just said it.
Gridiron. I'm so sorry, folks.
Close.
To the boardroom, Bob Logan has shaped countless lives through his work in education, athletics, and philanthropy, and continues to inspire others to step outside their comfort zones and push past their limits. Please join us in welcoming a true community leader, mentor, and lifelong educator, Bob Logan.
Thank you very much. Thanks
Bob.
for having me.
Bob, thank you for joining us. I want to start with today's quote. True legacy is not just built in the trophies we win, but in the lives we elevate and the communities we strengthen. How does this reflect the way you approach your life, both and off the field?
I think that's a great quote for the day. You know, honestly, if you are working towards things, buying cars and watches and things, and you don't have relationships, you don't have anything. Your life is going to be measured by the people that know you and love you and care about you, not about the things you acquire and the trophies you have.
Yep.
Yes. About that partnership we're talking, the relationships. Are these relationships that you build along the way, and then you have along the way, are they more important than what you are creating in terms of wealth?
Let me talk about relationships related to my fundraising background at the University of Arizona. And I'll put it this way, because many people would come up to me and ask, Bob, how do you ask people for millions of dollars? I don't know how you do that. It must be
Tell
impossible.
me how you do it. I need to do that.
And I think most people kind of think it's like car sales or insurance sales, transactional sales. But the fundraising that I did was all about relationships. And truth be told, if I did my job properly, I might work with a donor for 1, 2, 3 years before I even ever talk about a gift. And the donor at some point, they know what I do. They're not stupid. They may say, Bob, I really like the stuff that you do in the College of Science, and I'd like to talk about, how could we invest to help things better? And that begins the process. So the job I had, including coaching, was all about relationships. It's all about people. And that's why I've been so successful, I think, is just by building relationships.
And that's probably why they come to you.
That's right.
You have that energy that you project.
Approachable.
As I say many times, 80% is what you project, and 20% are words.
I guess what I'm wondering is, why is it so important to get people outside their comfort zones?
Well,
Instead of just kind of hanging out on the couch and just
I was
going to
do an experiment with you guys, and I already asked two of them in here. You don't have a wallet on you, do you?
I have one in my man purse.
Okay. But not in the room, though.
It's in the room.
Okay.
Do you want me to get it?
Do you have cash in it?
I never carry cash.
You have no cash at all?
Well, maybe. Let me look.
Okay, just check real quick. If not, I'll use my wallet for this example. Okay?
A second here.
I can't wait for this.
Cash is very rare to me. I do.
Okay.
But I'm not going to give you any cash.
All right. So I want you to pull the cash out.
Okay.
And don't show it to me.
Okay.
Now I do this experiment when I give talks. It's all about comfort zone. So if you have the cash in your hand,
I have it in my hands.
About 80% of the time, all the dollars, all the bills are facing in the same direction.
Is that true? Based on what my dad taught me, all the heads are up.
Okay. And the special people not only have it facing in the same direction, heads are up, but also in denomination form, 20, 10, 5. Are yours that way?
Yep.
Okay. So why do we do that? If the $20 bill was upside down, is that other $20, is that worth less? No.
No.
We just do that because it makes us feel better. The money's not more or less valuable.
Can I show what?
Isn't
what
it?
Sure. Yeah. Now you can
Isn't
show
it
it to me.
Here, look.
OCD?
Here it is. So here's right.
There you go.
So
there you
We're
go.
all
Isn't it
facing
a
the same
matter of
direction.
OCD?
I don't know if it's OCD. I think it's comfort zone. I think we just like things
And I
a
think
certain
OCD
way.
is a comfort zone too.
It probably is. It probably is. And, people don't like change and they don't like things being different. But you're not going to expand your life or yourself unless you break through that comfort zone. And I'll tell you, this comfort zone thing is a real thing. And when you approach the end of it, what happens is fear kicks in. Because if I'm going outside my comfort zone, this doesn't feel right, doesn't feel good. But once you do break out, then you allow change to come into your life. So that's a crazy example, but it's a great example that people love things the way they are. They love sitting on their couch instead of working hard towards a goal, unfortunately.
It's interesting you're saying that, Bob. I was watching at night, I watched a series. Last night I watched this series where the guy is opening a cage where the two birds are in there. And he opens the window and takes...
Use ChatGPT to answer that. You can enable ChatGPT on your iPhone.
It's okay.
Well,
Welcome,
now we know
ChatGPT
where you're
on
getting your
our
answers. Now we know who we're really talking
So-
to.
I just turned it off. Wow.
I love this.
Edit
This
that
is
out,
so
please.
Amazing. So the gentleman is putting the cage facing the open window and he's tapping the cage, telling the birds to leave. And guess what?
They didn't want to leave.
No. And that is what your
Right.
that comfort zone where
Right.
reality is no longer available
And
to you.
the door was open, right?
And the door is open. It's
Yeah.
like the flying on the window pane.
Right.
And the window is open. And it just knows its comfort zone.
Right.
It doesn't know that freedom is right there next to you. Change is the same way.
Let me give you another. Can I give you another example?
Sure.
So when I got my graduate degree back in the 80s here at the Eller College of Management, I was hired by AT&T Computer Systems, and I was a manager for Casa Grande South for all the computer applications. And that was when computers were just starting out. It was a big deal. If you had a computer on your desk, you were important in the organization. Okay, the old people understand that. And our division was sold to NCR Corporation. And I was soon to be laid off with about 50,000 other AT&T employees. So I was thinking about what am I going to do? And on the voice side, the telephone side, which AT&T, that's their $1 million business, I had lunch with this woman, and she had been with AT&T for about 16, 17 years, did well, made good money, was a great person. And I said, hey, I'm thinking about moving over to the voice side. What do you think? She goes, oh, I wouldn't do that. And I was shocked. I said, why? Oh, I hate my job. I said, Elaine, what? She goes, no, I can't stand what I do. I mean, and I was in my early 30s or something. I said, well, Elaine, you're 40 years old. You're going to do this for 20 more years? Yep.
Oh, how
I
sad.
make good income. I got a good retirement. I've got benefits. And I thought, wow, there is somebody that just is totally afraid of trying something new and something different. And it was sad. It was really sad.
Wow. Yeah, what a way to live.
Yeah.
Bob, you've had a career that is huge in variety.
Right.
And some may wonder how to connect the dots and on your career path.
Right.
Is it possible that change is something you embrace or even enjoy?
Yes. I've been I just told you, a computer person, a high school history teacher, a college football coach, a professional football coach, a fundraiser. So change that's my whole life has been change. And I will tell you this, every time I changed, it may not look like a progression on the resume, but I made that change for a specific reason. Either I thought there was a good opportunity here, or I thought the people or the management that I would be working for would be good people to work for and may progress my career. And so I was always willing to roll the dice. I'm not afraid. I'm never going to be, homeless or living in a gutter. I guess that could happen. But I was pretty confident that things would always work out in the end. And if it didn't, I would move on and try something different. So I was never afraid of doing that. And I'll tell you, it is invigorating to go do something totally different. And an example is I was associate AD at Arizona in the athletic department, raising money for Jim Livengood and Ced Dempsey, coached football with Larry Smith. 10 years I was there. And then I was recruited to the College of Science, of all places. Okay, now, if you look at me, I don't look like a scientist, all right? I look like a football coach. I look like a jock. I act like a jock. And for me to go into that environment with these, Nobel Prize-winning scientists, my friends thought I was out of my mind. But I thought if I could go there and succeed, that's a hell of a story to tell in an interview.
Right.
Football coach and teacher working with Mars missions, landing on Mars and going to asteroids. I mean, I was involved in all that stuff. And I ended up spending 20 years. I thought it would be a 5-year deal, and I spent 20 years and retired from that. I mean, it was crazy.
Bob, from what you're saying, I'm discovering a few things that are very, very similar to what I do in coaching. In behavioral change, we coined the word improve. The premise is that change, when we approach that with people who don't know how to go about change, the word change in itself is very intimidating.
Right.
Okay, the brain has a problem with that, just like the word effort.
Right.
And so we like to change that word and call it improve. Because you can't change a car. You can change a pants. You can change your jacket. But I don't think humans can change.
Right.
They can either improve or self-destruct.
That's pretty accurate, I think.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
We approach that with that word, with that mindset of improving, then you have people's minds ready to make that jump.
Right.
Because they just want to know the tools to improve.
Exactly.
But I faced a lot of situation where people had a problem with change, even though you gave them all the tools in the world, until you change that word into improve.
You had an experience that changed your life, right? Yeah. Would you be willing to share us your experience regarding Camino de Santiago and what
you may have to invite me for another podcast.
Could you do it in like 30 seconds?
How much time do you? 30 seconds?
No. You got a little time. I'd like to hear about it.
Tell us how it changed your life.
This
This is one of the things where if you pull the string on my neck, I'll just talk for an hour and a half. Okay.
Okay.
The Camino de Santiago, and for the listeners that don't know what this is, I'm Catholic. It is a 500-mile pilgrimage across northern Spain. It starts in a little town called Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port in France.
I've heard of it, yeah.
You cross the Pyrenees Mountains and you walk 500 miles to Santiago de Compostela, where the remains of St. James, the Apostle St. James, are entombed in the cathedral. Okay, so that's what it is. It's been going on for almost 2,000 years. People have been walking this pilgrimage. And I've done it 3 times. I did it in 2012, 2015, and 2018. And it's hard I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. And for those of you that have never heard of it, Google it when we're done the podcast, and you will be on the computer for 3 hours learning about the Camino. It is that powerful an experience. And basically, why is it so powerful? Because it strips you of everything in your life. You don't have the stresses of job, of finances, or marriage, or divorce. And many people are on the Camino carrying a burden. They're on the Camino for a reason. And I had a job thing I was dealing with. It wasn't crisis or anything, but I was dealing something at the U of A, and I wanted to, go and clear my head.
Heal, yeah.
And let me tell you, and I don't meditate. I'm not that kind of guy. I don't meditate or do yoga. But when you walk for 8 hours, 15 to 20 miles, you are meditating. You are thinking about lots of things in your life that you would like to improve or do better. And every night you're in an albergue, which is a kind of a hostel, sleeping in bunk beds with hundreds of other people, farting and snoring all night long, all through the room.
Is this 30 days? How long does it take?
It takes about 35 days to do the full 500 miles, know, and you can do it different ways. You can do it a couple weeks at a time and that type of thing. But it was an amazing, amazing experience because I met people from all over the world. And I met a woman from Germany, and we walked for about 2 weeks together. And, she told me an amazing story about her youth that I'm not going to share here, that she hadn't told anybody in her entire life what had happened.
Wow.
And she trusted me to tell me that story because she knew I wasn't.
Power of connection, yeah.
Power of connection. She knew I wasn't a threat. And ironically, fast forward about 10 years, I was president of my Rotary Club, and we had our international convention in Hamburg, Germany, of all places, and that's where she lived.
Did you get to see her again?
Yes, my wife came, and we met her, and it's truly a mind-blowing experience. It
Talking
really is.
about meditation, and you mentioned you're not that kind of guy. The simple fact that you are doing these things, you are.
Absolutely.
And I've heard people that did that walk before mentioning the effort, that emotional burden they went through. It was a mixture between healing and hating themselves, and everything was brought back to consideration. And at the end of the walk, there's certain victory, a powerful sort of emotion that is within you, and that bond with people, connection, leaves you forever.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah.
I carry this little satchel in my pocket. And in the satchel, there's a thing called the Cruz de Ferro. It's a place where you leave a stone.
Yeah.
And in my satchel, I've got 3 stones that I carry, and one of them says happiness, and one of them says dream,
Beautiful,
and then one of them says faith.
Nice.
And so my position in life is, if you got those 3 things, you got everything you need, right? So
true.
Those are
Absolutely.
reminders of that experience.
So I just real quickly, because I'm curious. I'm thinking maybe the viewers, listeners might be curious. What happens at the end when you're done?
So the end is, you can imagine, it's a big terrazzo. We're in front of the cathedral, and tourists are all over the place. And many tourists are coming to see the pilgrims coming in for their final day. And at the Mass in the cathedral every day at noon, they have a pilgrim's Mass. And if you got to watch the movie The Way with Martin Sheen, and it shows this scene.
I've seen it, yeah.
Yeah, they've got this thing called the Boltafumerio. It's an incense burner that swings through the cathedral about 90 miles an hour, and it has incense, and it's been doing it for years to mask the smell of the pilgrims that have just walked 15 or 20 miles in the cathedral. So you can't imagine the emotions that pour out of you when you've walked for weeks and weeks and weeks for this one goal to go to the cathedral and go to Mass. So
that's so cool.
It's pretty humbling experience.
Yeah, that's special.
Well, Bob, thank you.
It was
Thank
quick.
you for sharing all this.
Sorry, I hope I didn't talk too much.
No, it was fascinating.
No, you bring so much energy.
Thank you.
And thank you for that, for your wisdom, your journey, your passion for service. Your life is a reminder that true impact is made not just in what we achieve, but in how we lift others along the way.
Right.
Thank you.
I do want to thank all of our listeners. Unfortunately, it's time to wrap up here, but we've got plenty of more of these that are on the way, and we hope that you'll join us for those. If you like what you saw today, please like, share. What else is it, Nordine?
What's your book?
Oh, there you go.
Bob has a book.
I have a book.
Why
That's
you
right.
didn't
Bob
tell
has
me
a
about
book.
it? Let your path find you. Embrace your own winding
I feel like I'm being
road
ignored.
to a more fulfilling life. This is about the experience, right?
It is a memoir with many different. The chapters are fear, failure, anxiety, challenge, change, and they live by themselves. But the Camino is in there quite a bit.
So you brought one book, and there's 3 people here,
Well,
including yourself. 4.
I gave
have
one.
one.
I gave
I
one to
got
Ken.
one. And-
I'll give one to you. You get stuck.
Emilio,
Okay, so
I'll
this is
let
going to be
Emilio borrow
signed
mine
to me.
once I'm done.
I think it's signed, but
Okay.
I will personalize it
signed
to you.
edition.
Yeah.
You better.
He signed mine. I'm just
Because
saying.
if you go on eBay, the price goes down $10 by me signing it.
Oh, boy.
Okay, now I got to do this all over again. So anyway, please like, subscribe, or share. And then Nordine had one more thing he's adding nowadays. Anyway, like, subscribe, share.
And comment.
Yeah, please
help
comment.
us
Please
help
comment.
you
Yes.
so you can help us.
Yeah. Anyway, Bob, very nice to have you.
Thank you.
Have a great day, and we look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode of No Limits.
As far